Hey guys, how you doing? I just wanted to talk to you guys about that little girl from Dumbo. You know, the little girl who, um, her name is Nico Parker. And I just wanted to say that she is just not a good actor. She is not. The thing about Nico Parker is that she was just not good. She just was, you know, every time I saw her on screen, she just had this face that was unemotional, like and like this. I I I really don't. I honestly felt like I was unemotional there for a little bit too. Like I felt I'm not even sure I could do a better acting job than her, but wow. I mean, her acting in this is just so bad. It's just so awful, and it makes me think back to like Daisy Ridley and how expressive how she has been in both The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, and and how a good job she'll do like in the Rise of Skywalker, which is coming out. And she makes me think back, the little girl here, it makes me think back to Daphne King, the girl who played Laura in the movie Logan. I remember, wow, that girl in Logan, she was expressive, she was emotive, and she just was a great actress. She did such a good job, and I remember she just did such a good job with what she was given, and she makes me think even back to the little girl who played Maisie, Isabella Sermon, how she was such a great actress, and how she was just such a good actress, and how she was just emotional, like the scene where like the scene where she meets Owen and Claire, where she's, she just seems emotional, and Isabel, or the scene where she finds out she's a clone, and she backs up against the wall, and she's like, she's in shock, she just does a good job, and she really does a good job of conveying that. I really hated the girl in Dumbo, and because I wanted to see her do a good job, and I really wish she could do a good job, and and I'm sorry, but she just doesn't. I mean, she just does not, and Eva Green, I honestly felt was the best performer in this, because I honestly thought that she was the only actress who I felt was emotive, who I felt was actually doing a good job, who I actually felt, oh yeah, she was good, she did a good job, but everything else was just, Michael Keaton, oh gosh, yeah, he was not exactly very good. Good, and to describe his performance, it's kind of like, this is kind of, I saw the Double Toasted review, and I saw their review, and they were saying he was trying to be Johnny Depp, and yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying. He's just trying to be Johnny Depp. He is just trying to be doing what Johnny Depp has done. He's trying to be, this over-the-top eccentric person, but I don't get that. I don't get it. I do not get it. And the fact that Disney thinks that it can do this is ridiculous. I just wish that, that I just didn't like Michael Keaton's work. Oh yeah, and Alan Arkin is in this. He was in this. He played this banker, this forgettable banker character who pretty much sums up the whole film in this. Wow, this is a disaster. And I swear that line sums up the whole movie for me. I mean, it's not. And I'm like, wow, that couldn't have been scripted. Like, that had to have been improv. That really had to have been, like, just off the top of his tongue. Like, like Alan Arkin, I can swear, this is him on the final day of shooting, and he's watching, and this is probably him watching the scene, making the scene where Dreamland is burning, which I actually find is kind of odd. They're basing Disney, their a theme park off of their theme park. Yeah, way to go, Disney. Thank you for. Yeah, there's no way we could have recognized that. And he really sums up the film. He really sums up the film, and it's kind of amazing how he does that. That's the way he does. It's actually funny. Okay, so the circus people. This is something that's been going through my head for a while, and it really makes me think about, like, it really makes me think, the problem that the circus people have is the exact same problem the circus people in The Greatest Showman have. One is they're bland. They have no say in anything. They're just kind of flat characters who don't really have much dialogue or really have much. The second thing is we don't really know much about them or really care about them. This Rongo the Strongo guy, don't really know him or care. The mermaid lady, don't care. The everyone else, I totally care less about, because I have no idea who they're supposed to be. They have no personality. They have not one scene like where they're, and it doesn't really help that I really feel like you can tell the actors are really wanting to really express themselves, but they're never given an opportunity. But instead we gotta have oh, and that's kind of, I really like the cast in this. It's just, I really feel like the best way to look at the human characters, well, even though they're still pretty bad, I mean, the best way to look at them is to just see them as actors. Just don't look at them like, oh, characters? These are supposed to be characters? Just look at them like the actors playing the actors. Like Eva Green is Eva Green, Colin Farrell is Colin Farrell, Danny DeVito is Danny DeVito, and the girl is the little girl, the boy is the little boy. And this is also another big problem that I keep, that when I'm on YouTube I keep addressing to some people. Like, I really think the kids should have been replaced. Like they really should have been, like, they really should have been replaced by someone, someone more better. Like why not get, like, someone like, the Isabella Sermon, the girl who played Maisie. She did a good job. She was very good. She was very good. Like, I really like, or, like, why not get, well, like, someone older, like, someone, like, around teenagers, like Aaron Kellyman in Emphasis Nest. My gosh, I know this is odd that people, but I really feel like Aaron Kellyman is underrated. I mean, I really feel like after Solo came out, people instantly forgot about her Emphasis Nest and Aaron Kellyman's performance. Because, I really think that what made the movie for me was Aaron Kellyman's performance, and that is kind of why I liked Solo, because I like seeing Aaron Kellyman's performance. In fact, you know what? If Aaron Kellyman is watching this, I really want to say I liked her performance. I liked her acting, and she was really, really good. She just did a really good job, and I liked it. She just was such a good actress. And I really wish that, the film, I also think Daisy Ridley should have been the main character. Like, why not make her, like, working for, like, the circus, Danny DeVito's circus, and, like, why not make her, like, do one of the acts, or, don't do the whole subplot of the girl wanting to be a scientist and wanting to be noticed for her mind. Oh, oh yeah, like that's that because that's her character. I'm sorry, and yeah. Also, what is the boy's character? Like for example, we don't even get. He does is follow the girl around. All he does is do whatever the sister wants, and yet for some reason he never gets like a say in anything. He never gets like he never really gets to say, hey, could I help out, or I'm sorry, I really feel like Family Robbins, the kid who played the boy, the kid who played like him, like he really felt underutilized. Where the girl, the girl felt overused, and the boy felt under. It's like, I really feel like why couldn't Disney just have made? Why couldn't the film just have had one kid? This is another big problem I noticed in like the film Mary Poppins Returns. Like it really should have just have. This is something like Doug Walker said in his this is something Doug Walker said in his fanscription video of the Mary Poppins Returns that I watched a few months ago, and when it came out, like April, I think. April. Well, he said that there should only be like one child. Like you should cut out like only one. Cut out Georgie, cut out the other boy. Just have it be one child. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that could work. Or heck, why not just cut out the father? I know every movie has to have kids, but if you wanted to have kids, why couldn't you just have the kid like be an orphan or be a runaway, like be someone who like he was like he decided to join the service, or like maybe he wanted to see the world, like he wanted to explore, and he thought maybe he was poor, maybe he was just destitute, he couldn't really support himself, or something. I mean, especially considering that this film is set in 1919, before the 20s, and I'm thinking that's a perfect way to do it. That's a perfect time period, to show, the show is down on its luck, and not only that, it's set right after World War One, which, as we remember from history, was a very tough, conflict to go through. I mean, and it really like impacted a lot of people, like both at home and on the front. And I'm thinking, like, why not show how the boy is, like, what if the boy's father was killed in war, and we, or like, what if the girl was on her own, This is something I really think Tim Burton or the writer did not get, and I really felt like, well, but then again, it's written by the same guy who wrote Transformers 2. And by the way, I like Transformers 3. I know a lot of people say Transformers, yeah, I'm going to be honest. I really think I like Transformers 3, by the way. But they really should have just, had just one kid. Just one kid. Not two, or not three, 2, or 4, 5. Just be like just one kid. One is enough. Not every. It's just. I really, to wrap things up, I really wish that the human characters were more relatable. I really wish the kids had been recasted. I really feel like the kids were way, like the little girl, Nico Parker, is not a really good actor, and the only reason I feel like they cast her was because of, she's Tanning's daughter, and And then there's, and I'm thinking to myself, no, there are plenty of younger actresses better than her. There are plenty of younger actresses who could have done a better job. And whenever I saw her acting, I just, I felt, oh man, she is such a bad actor. Oh, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel the same way too. I mean, honestly, watching the Double Toasted review of the girl, she, I remember one of the guys saying, anybody got some jumper cables so we can make this girl emote? Or, I remember, well, they actually, and I remember, I also remember, yeah, they were just, I remember they also said Eva Green Swords is fine, and yeah, it is, but I really felt like she was the only actress who I felt was actually giving, something to the film. Like she was smiling, she was being expressive, she was just, when she said, Dumbo, Prince of the Elephants, fly with me, and, she just, I feel like she was giving it her all, and Dumbo was, and I remember the scene where Danny DeVito was like, whoa, when Dumbo was flying around the casino, he was like, whoa, it's just, and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, I remember his performance just being a highlight of the first half, and, he was just, Colin Farrell, he just kind of looked lost. In fact, speaking of Colin Farrell, he just looked lost in this. You watch the interviews and see how, and see how happy he is about making this film, but he just looks lost in this. He's like, okay, I have no idea why I'm here, what I'm supposed to be doing, oh my gosh, why am I here? Oh boy. I feel like I haven't mentioned it, but he lost his arm in the war, and the daughter comes back, and he shows his arm to his kids, and they're all like, okay, hi Dad, and this is also something that really ticked me off. So the son sees him, and he instantly, he's as shocked as the daughter, and but you know what makes him different than the daughter? He actually runs up and hugs his father, it doesn't matter, if he's lost his arm, he missed his father. He was the girl. Hi, Dad. Yeah, I'm just gonna stand here. I'm just gonna have an emotional face. I swear, if I had been a character on the show and a movie, if I had been a character on this movie, I would have said, "Kid, your father just lost his arm. You could at least give him a hug." Seriously, I would say, "Hey, Colin Farrell character, can I help you to your cabin? Can I help you get somewhere? Can I help you get to where you're going?" I would have offered him some help. The daughter doesn't. The son at least hugs him and some, he at least just goes over him. The daughter, I don't even know why she does that. It annoys me. It really irks me, because there's supposed to be a family, yet why do I not get that? Why am I not getting that? And that is kind of the problem. That, this remake exists just to exist. And Tim Burton just really hasn't been on he just hasn't had a really good track record. I mean, his movies have ranged from kind of meh to sort of and his, I really, this might not, a lot of people might not thank me for this, but I really feel like the woman who played Dana, Estelle Warren, in his Planet of the Apes movie, I really think that, you know, like, if you don't know who she is, Google her up. But, I mean, I remember watching her performance, and I remember for her performance, she got a Razzie for this, and for worst supporting actress. I'm thinking, oh yeah, her performance wasn't really good, but okay, why couldn't she have been the main character? Like, oh, Estelle Warren can't act, and well, okay, I mean, well, in the final film, she didn't really give a good performance either. I mean, especially. But I really think that's kind of because of the writing. That's because of the writing. She wasn't allowed to be expressive. She wasn't allowed to emote. And, I really feel like the film would have worked, like, maybe if, the Planet of the Apes remake would have worked if the film had character to it, if the characters were more likable and interesting. Like, why not make, I really feel like the father character, like if you want to know the father character, why not make him more interesting? Why not make him likable? And, I really feel like the film would have just worked. Like, maybe if the film had been, like, about a young woman and a little, dwarf played by Warwick Davis, like, who could have, like, he helps her out. He sets her free. I really feel like, I'm pretty sure if I went to Hollywood right now and did that, I'm pretty sure Hollywood people would just say, no, get out of here. We don't want that stuff. And it's just, I really feel like Hollywood and Disney are better than this because they have because it's like we just aren't really getting a lot of new stuff. And, I remember Doug Walker's review of The Lion King, and he's saying, not just to us, not just but to Disney, like, he's saying, come back. And that's kind of what I want, for us to come back, to get out of this age of, this dark age of uninspiredness. I mean, it feels like, I wish we would start making original stuff. I'm not, and I'm not being like this is, I really wish that we would, step over our game and make something new. And, and I remember Doug saying, if you want something original, and, something I wish that, I wish the Dumbo remake had been better. I wish the girl had been more expressive and emotive. I wish there, I wish the boy had been recasted by someone else, like Art Parkinson. The boy. Why not recast the boy? I'm sorry, the boy playing him, Finley Robbins, I'm pretty sure he's a good, I'm pretty sure, he's a good kid in real life. I'm pretty sure he's, like, a really good kid, but he just is not given enough to do here. And I really wish that, Art Parkinson had been picked, because have you seen San Andreas? He was pretty good. He was in Game of Thrones. I mean, I've never really watched Game of Thrones, to be honest, but I remember a lot of people, like, I remember he got his start in Game of Thrones, and he was pretty good there, a lot of people said. And, I just remember I remember his acting in, I remember his acting in San Andreas, and I remember that he was, I remember, in fact, and I'm just gonna, comparing the girl to the other girls I mentioned in this review, like, in San Andreas, I felt like he was expressive, like, he was, whenever there was a scene, where there was an earthquake, or, because quake, or like when the tsunami hit, his reactions were realistic. Like, when he's trying to free Alexandru Daddario with his with the older brother he's also, he's scared. Like, they're admitting, like, he's scared, like, not only for himself, but he's scared for others. And I'm thinking to myself, man, he was just so good in that movie. I remember he was just a really good actor. He was just a really, really good actor. And I really am kind of saddened that, that I really feel like, I really feel like he could have been the brother in this, because, or no, or, why do they have to be even be brother and sister? Why couldn't you just have them being, like, friends, not this, or just partners, the boy and the girl are just partners, they're not, like, brother and sister, they don't, you don't, they're, why not just have them as friends, and, friends who work together, like, or people, or, like, they're people who joined the service for different reasons, like, he wanted to explore the world, and the girl wanted to become, like, a magician, and which is better than the girl being like, oh, I want to be a scientist, and I'm sorry, really? Yeah, and they make a lot of references to Mary Curie, like, they always make references to, to the whole, they always make these references to other, I'm sorry, the girl's whole motivation of becoming a scientist is really forced. It really felt forced. The girl felt forced. And I'm sorry, but, I'm just going to be honest, everything about the movie is forced. It didn't need to exist. I mean, okay, but overall, I remember there were some good things about it, but it was mostly just kind of forgettable. Like, I liked Eva Green. I liked Danny DeVito. I liked Dumbo himself. Dumbo himself was adorable. Like, a lot of people are saying that, a lot of people are saying that, oh, Dumbo looks horrifying. And yeah, I can definitely kind of understand that. But, like, Dumbo looks hideous. But then I remember there were also some people who were saying, oh, Dumbo was cute, despite the CGI, and honestly, I think it's kind of a mix. Like, he's very, you kind of are a little turned off because it's a CGI elephant, and you kind of feel like it's not really there sometimes, but you really feel like this elephant is expressive. You really feel for him, and you really, and if there's one thing Tim Burton and the screen and everyone succeeded at, it's making this elephant sympathetic. And another thing is, I really have got to give credit to the guy who played him in the green suit. Like, I don't know what his name was. Like, Ed Osmond, I think that's it. His name was Ed Osmond. I just wanted to say kudos to that guy. I mean, I'm surprised I'm surprised he didn't get an Oscar. I'm surprised I just remember him, honestly, just kudos to him. I remember just Eva Green being a better actor than, he was just a good, I really am annoyed that he went unnoticed. It's kind of honest. I honestly kind of wish that, he had gotten, noticed for his performance, and he wasn't. And also, another thing that also bothers me, if I had been in the film, as a writer, or or heck, even as a character, I really wish that, instead of doing this whole thing where, oh, the characters do things because the plot tells them to, or, why couldn't you just have, if I was a character in this, a big if, because I really don't know, I'd probably just be an extra. By the way, to the extras in the movie, I really feel sorry for them. You were making this movie that you were just told to be in the background, and and extras, much like stunt doubles, extras are really underappreciated. Hated. Honestly, that's something I really think Hollywood tends to forget. and I really feel like, I really feel like I really wish that this movie had been good. There are just so many things wrong with it. So many things that, oh yeah, cutting out Timothy the Mouse. Making Dumbo a side character in his own movie. When he was the main character, when he was the star of his own movie, and when I just it really amazes me just how much what this movie could have been. And I really feel like Eva Green did a good job. I honestly, Danny DeVito, again, as I keep saying, was fun. But everything else, and Colin Farrell, he did fine. But you could, he just looked so lost here. Like, he just didn't know what to do. Like you really, you really just felt like you just didn't really know. Like, I really felt sorry for him. And the problem with this is, this remake, I really think, is kind of what made me say to myself, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to go see Lion King, I remember, like, all the other remakes, and they had something good in them. Like, The Jungle Book had a really good child actor, and, like the Neil Sethi, he was good as Mowgli. And, I remember, Maleficent, which was also okay, I remember Angelina Jolie being pretty good, and I remember, she was just so good as Maleficent, and I remember Ella Fanning as Aurora. I remembered how good she was, and I know a lot of people would probably say, "Oh, Aurora Fanning, no, Ella Fanning can't act. Ella Fanning can't emote." But I honestly felt like she was a better actor. She has definitely improved over the years, and she was definitely good here. And considering that Maleficent 2 is coming out, considering that movie is also coming out in a few weeks, months. It comes out on October 20th. I'll probably just have to see it ahead of time. And, oh man, oh boy. It's just, I remember there was something about Maleficent that, as bad as people say it is, and yeah, the more I think about it, the more, there was something. I really feel like Maleficent wasn't as bad as the Dumbo remake, because it didn't really have, because it at least tried to be different, and that's something I'll give this movie as well. It also did something different, compared to other remakes. And the Jungle Book at least had, a good child actor. I really just feel like this movie should have been better. It should have been, it could have been something, but it wasn't. It was not, and it just wasn't. I really feel like this could have been better. There's just a part of me that wonders what. With these remakes coming out, and the Lady and the Tramp is coming out, because we needed that. We needed a Lady and the Tramp remake. What's next? A remake where Pinocchio? Oh shoot! I'm just giving Disney more ideas, aren't I? And I'm sorry. It's just, what's next? A Big Hero 6 remake? What is next? What is Disney gonna do? They don't really doing much, and really, there was this one comment I read on YouTube where it said, on Doug Nostalgic review of Doug Walker's ring, if it weren't for if it weren't for Marvel and stuff like this, Disney would be bankrupt by movies like Wrinkle in Time. I'm thinking, man, yeah, they definitely would be. And I'm also thinking to myself, man, Wrinkle in Time was bad. I mean, except for Storm Reid, she's, so yeah, she's also a perfect choice for the girl. Bro, come on, out of, again, dozens of child actresses. That Nico Parker was the one you went with. Yeah, sure. And it's just, there was this, and this is another nostalgic review. His last night review. Like, you can at least demand something better. Demand something new with this. And I remember his, why are we so comfortably numb to this? There were so many ways you could have done this. I don't know. For some reason, Dumbo was the one that has convinced me to not really watch these remakes. And, I really wish that there were better remakes because I know I've probably been talking for way too long on this, but, I remember Westerns. My dad watches a bit, my dad is a big Western fan. And, I remember, my dad, when I was little, I was thinking, oh, Westerns are so cheesy. But you know what? You know what I've realized? Westerns were kind of, they were intentionally cheesy. They were, and they had actors who, whenever you saw them, you felt like they were acting. They were imbuing. There was this life to them. They were corny, but there was life to them. There was charm to it. There was amazingness to it. And I feel like Westerns weren't made. They were made not because, oh, we just need a quick buck. We just need some money. And yeah, I'm pretty sure they were. Yeah, I'm probably sure they were made for money too. I'm pretty sure. Especially considering that. I'm pretty sure even in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, which were when Westerns were at their heyday. That was when, they were at their most popular. They were made for money too. Honestly, we can't. But there's just a bit of charm to Westerns that. What makes Westerns different than all of these forgettable remakes is just there was charm to it. There was life to it. There was heart to it, and I liked them. They, there was, John. I really think of these older movies, like these movies that were made from the 60s, 50s, 40s, I really think back to all these movies that were made, not because, oh, we just need a quick paycheck, oh, we just need some money, but they were made because they wanted to do them. They wanted to make it, they wanted to do something, and they just, they didn't really, they were doing it because they wanted to make something fun and enjoyable, not for a paycheck, not for, they were doing it because it was just fun. It was fun. They, Westerns are fun. When you watch them, it's kind of like the Fifth Element. It's stupid. But it's fun. Mia Jovovich, you can tell, she smiles and, yeah, bada boom. Big bada boom. Oh gosh, oh man, Mila Jovovich, she was so good in that movie. But